Geno Smith was traded by your Seahawks to the Raiders for a third-round pick. So what I was alluding to about John Schneider, who looks terrible, by the way. I don't know if you've seen him lately, but
a little long in the tooth.
No,
he's not taking his shirt off anymore after the Super Bowl.
He just looks bloated and drunk. But been there a long time, you know. Maybe I hadn't seen him in a while, but he's been making the rounds, and he said after the combine, he was like, we maybe didn't expect it, but we really like a couple of the quarterbacks who threw at the combine. And because of this quarterback class, I'm guessing he probably went into the combine thinking, well, we got Geno. Yeah. Let's look at these guys, but nobody's really jumping off the page at us. Well, McDonald and he go to the combine, and now he's saying, well, wait a minute. We really need to dig into a couple of these guys. And he said they're going to go to the pro days and really
figure it out.
Put the screws to it. That means there's somebody that caught his eye. And then 2 days later, he trades Geno Smith for, interestingly, a third-round pick. So I can see the conversation going with McDonald like, hey, you're a new coach. We all know Geno's not the guy long-term. Yeah. The new coach wants his new quarterback. What if I can flip? So now we go to the combine. We discuss, we like this guy or that guy. Okay, well, what if I can flip Geno and get us an extra third, and we can draft the guy that we like, assuming he vets out, and we just swap Geno for that, and we roll the dice that way.
It's a bold move because you are a 10-win team. You are a borderline playoff team. You do have a new coach, and to bring in. I mean, you do have Sam Howell, I guess, as a stopgap.
Yeah, but I don't think he's part of this.
It just is weird in that you have had steady Eddie play and 10 wins year to year to year. And in the second year of this rebuild, your two top receivers, I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba will still be there, but you lose Lockett, you lose Metcalf, seemingly. And then let's say you draft Quinn Ewers in the third round and you turn the reins over to Quinn Ewers. I really thought that this would be a Sam Darnold thing, but I definitely see where you're coming from on that. And the other thing about Sam Darnold is, unless you make major improvements to the offensive line, especially the interior offensive line, what do we know about Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold is a pressure-sensitive quarterback, as I kind of sat there and thought about it, because I'm like, this just screamed to me Sam Darnold, right? Play-action system, bringing in Kubiak, outside zone, all that makes sense to me. And then I'm like, hell, there's not a worse quarterback in the NFL under pressure than Sam Darnold. And who had, I think it was the third worst pressure rate in the NFL last year, the Seattle Seahawks. And I know you're changing the run game, you're bringing in a new OC, and hopefully that's not going to be the case again. But as of right now, you really haven't dressed the O-line. That kind of leads me to believe that maybe my Darnold to Seattle thing, which initially just jumped out of the page at me, all of a sudden maybe like,
I don't see why they would go after Darnold when they already have Darnold.
They had their
Geno
version
Smith.
of it.
So I don't get what, because if we're saying, and you agree with this, that the Raiders getting Geno at $25 million is better than getting Darnold for what they could get him for on the free agent market, why wouldn't that also be the same for the Seahawks? They had Geno. I think they're in love. I think McDonald found a guy. Yeah. And, remember, John Schneider drafted Russell Wilson in the third round. And I think
went right to him.
These GMs, particularly if you've hit on that before, he thinks in his head he can do that again. Yeah. And, maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, but I would imagine he has confidence that he can do it if they see the right guy. Yeah. And it sounds like there's a lot of quarterbacks in that range of this draft.
You're not going to have to be in the top 10.
Because I don't see Schneider and McDonald really leveraging to get one of the elite guys in the top. That's not their mojo.
We don't even know if there's an elite guy.
Well, but that's not how they've done it. They did it with Russell Wilson in the third round. So if that opportunity presents itself, which it sounds like it might be now that they've traded Geno Smith, that makes a lot of sense for Seattle. And you got three options. You got maybe Rodgers, but that's not whatever. No. You got Darnold, or you got a rookie. And I'm going the rookie route. I think that's their best play.
I see where you're coming, and then I'm kind of coming around to that. And the other one too is that it's only year 2 of McDonald, so you're not under any pressure. We talk about a lot of times, and Schneider, is he under pressure? Jody Allen, for God's sakes, who knows? I don't think that Schneider is necessarily feeling like he needs to save his job or anything like that. And so maybe it does give you some runway here that even if you take a guy in the third round and you try to make him the guy and it doesn't work out and the year kind of tanks, well, then maybe you go into next year and you do have a higher pick and you try to address it there. It's not like a situation in New York or Cleveland where if you don't win next year, your asses are gone. You're fired. So maybe it does give you some leeway to go down the third round, kind of, build the team and take a shot. And McDonald looks and says, hey, I'm trying to build something here, but if we can't get this position right, it really doesn't matter what else I build. So maybe this is the case that even if we have to take a step backwards and this is a bit of a rough year, you're going to give me some runway here. So let's at least take the chance to find the guy as opposed to kind of putting Band-Aids on this thing.
Yeah,
and they also said too, I saw that Schneider was talking about that they did engage contract negotiations with Geno. And I'm willing to guess that had Geno taken another 25, he's probably back. Or at least, they're considering it. But if Geno went to him and was like, hey, man, I'm not signing a $25 million deal, maybe that, again, turns into this is the number we're comfortable at. You're not willing to meet us at that number, and now we're going to roll the dice on one of the young guys.
That's true. I don't know. I guess the idea of them signing Geno Smith after this.
Yeah.
Ugh. But if they like him, but I think that's right. I think McDonald being a young coach and knowing that it's not his job next year.
Yeah.
They're wanting to build this the right way, and it sounds like Schneider's going to let him do that. It would be very on brand for McDonald to be like, look, let's go get the quarterback. Let's go get the rookie. Who do you like? Yeah. And that's probably something they were looking at the combine. And
bites at the apple.
And did see a couple guys who are like, all right, that's interesting.
You always want to give yourself bites at the apple, and and if it doesn't work out, you haven't made the playoffs in 3 years. Let's say your quarterback situation is a mess and you end up finishing, 6 wins. Right? Well, then maybe next year in a better draft class, you get another bite at the apple. And then at that point, you're probably under the gun and, hey, you're probably making, this is the decision that's going to save or kill your job.
I just think guys like McDonald, he doesn't want to wallow with Geno.
I don't think so.
And as good as Geno could be, he knows.
I just was weird because they were, and maybe this is all just coach speak, but
Coke speak.
Coke. Well, who hasn't?
They got all coked up at the combine.
But McDonald was very, very adamant about Geno being the guy and excited to work with him. But again,
he has to say it.
Yeah, maybe he has to say it. Well, a lot of times you don't, though. There are a lot of time it's like, God, the Colts came out and with Anthony Richardson, we're like, no, that's a quarterback competition. Not every coach strokes the quarterback's ego, and Mike McDonald was very, very public about his praise of Geno Smith.
There was a lot of criticism of Geno Smith, so he's probably backing his guy in the event that Geno was coming back, because I don't think they knew.
Yeah.
At the start of the offseason, do you think the Seahawks had a firm grasp on who was going to be their quarterback next year?
Well, it was a very fluid situation.
Exactly. So he has to say, okay, we got to keep Geno engaged just in case Geno's our guy. By the way, Adam Bjarnson just texted us, the great Adam Bjarnson, who is now at anybody?
I don't have local news.
I think he's at KG.
Looks like
he used to be at KG.
Coin 6.
Yeah, at Coin. Adam Coin 6 on.
How did you not know that?
I watch him every night.
Love Bjarnson. By the way, solid guy.
I love Bjarnson too. He says, what about Russ coming back as a bridge quarterback? Because I mentioned Rodgers, Darnold, or a rookie.
Yeah.
What about Dange Russ?
Look, I just think if you really are punting on, we already punted on Geno, and Darnold isn't the guy, I'm with you at this point. Take your lumps, shoot for the second, third round guy, shoot for the Jackson Dart, shoot for the Quinn Ewers, and if it doesn't work, you get another bite at the apple with probably a better pick next year. I think this is the advantage of probably having an owner that doesn't know what the hell is going on, a GM that feels somewhat comfortable, and a coach that one bad season is not going to fire Mike McDonald. So if it's not Darnold, I'm with you. Get your pick, second, third round, doesn't work, another one next year, and one of those two needs to hit, otherwise you're probably fired in a couple years. So I don't like the Russ thing. It's just that doesn't work for me. Seattle's trying to build and ascend to something. I don't think you can go with someone that is his best days are far behind him. I don't think you can do that.